If you have multiple sclerosis and you either use trekking poles or are thinking about using trekking poles or a walking stick, whatever you want to call them, then this video is for you. It is so important that you use your trekking poles correctly and that they are fitted to you correctly so that you can use them to the biggest advantage for yourself and that they are safest for you. So we're going to review exactly that. I'm Dr. Gretchen, physical therapist and multiple sclerosis specialist at The Missing Link. I specialize in helping people with MS get stronger, better balance, and make your daily activities feel easier through MS-specific functional exercise. So today, what we're going to be discussing is how to appropriately use mobility aids. So often, people are suggested a mobility aid or given a mobility aid by their doctors or someone on their healthcare team. Or maybe you just feel like, oh, I feel like I need a mobility aid. I'm just going to go buy one. But they aren't taught how to use them and how to fit them to you. And those things are hugely important in making sure that you're using it most effectively, that you don't become dependent on it, and that you're using it safely. So I'm going to review how to use trekking poles. Trekking poles typically come in a bag like this, and I wanted to keep them in their bag first so I could show you exactly what you're going to do to make sure they're the right height for you right out of the bag. So first step, open the bag. And what you're going to see are two trekking poles. I'm going to try to not spill everything everywhere. Two trekking poles that are going to be in their smallest form, their most squished down form. And then you're also going to see different options for the tips of what goes on the end. Typically, you'll see that it comes with this tip, which is like the typical tip. It's the one I like the most. But there are other options, such as this. And you would take this off and put this on the bottom. Actually, I think it goes this way to keep like snow out or mud out. This is another option. Put that on. And then I believe there's one other option. There's this option, which can be great for hiking. It's just got some more grooves. So again, you take that off and put this on. So most trekking poles, hiking poles, sticks, walking sticks come with that. Now, we've got these two. There's two different ways to fit trekking poles or walking sticks to you and your body. We will review them, try them both, make sure you choose the one that you feel safest with. The first option, and the option that I most often recommend, is where you're keeping your elbow at 90 degrees, put your other fist on top of it, and this is where you'd want to hold. So you're not at 90 degrees, you're a bit higher. So let's talk about it. The way that you're going to open your trekking poles, if they are collapsible, you're going to open the knobs, move them down. And really, it's just a little bit of trial and error. I actually don't remember what my size is, so we'll be doing this together. So 90 degrees. So I need this taller. And you can have someone help if you need it. So that looks about the right size. Yeah, this looks right. So then once you're at the right size, you're just going to close those, making sure that everything is nice and sturdy and firm and not going to collapse on you. And then you're just going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So I'll do that right now. And when we're talking about how much weight to put through your mobility aid, when specifically talking about trekking poles, it's same concept as what we've already talked about, which is only as much as you need to and not any more than that. It's so easy to put too much weight through a mobility aid. So easy. And it's not your fault. Our bodies have a mechanism where, how close did I get it? Pretty close. Our bodies have a mechanism where if we just have a single touch point, we just put too much weight through it. It's so easy if you're not being aware of it, it's so easy to put too much weight through. So just being aware, how much weight are you putting through? Okay, so we've got our correct sizes. Now, how do you hold on to the poles? You want to have, you're going to have a loop, and you're going to go from under the loop, and then you're going on top. So it should look like this. The loop is right there. It's between my thumb and index finger webbing, and hold on. The reason for that is because if you lose your balance, you lose your grip, it's going to stay with you. If you're not through the loop in that way, then when your hand releases, it's going to fall. But here, if your hand releases, it stays with you. So that's how you want to hold on to the trekking poles. Now, how are you going to walk with the trekking poles when they are up at this height where you're above 90 degrees? It's pretty similar to the canes, but here's what you want to be thinking about. So typically, to make walking feel the most natural, you're going to move the right trekking pole forward at the same time as the left leg, and then the left forward at the same time as the right leg. So it's opposite arm and leg, opposite arm and leg. I'm going slow so you can see, but this would be the most natural way. This would be the way that would feel, I did the wrong one there. This would be the way that would feel like you could walk your normal speed, because it's most similar to our normal walking pattern where we'd normally be swinging our arms in that same way. So that's the most common way, but of course there's so many variations. You can move your right one forward, then your left foot, then the left trekking pole, and then the right. So you can take a pause, you can move each thing separate. You're going to want to, again, just choose what feels best for you. So this is option number 1 in terms of height. Now, there's a second option, so let's review that. The second option is what a lot of people use if they tend to walk a bit faster, and that is a much lower option. So right now we're at our above 90 degrees. The lower option is more down here, and they have a tendency to stay behind you, and you're kind of pushing like this. It often can be used more for exercise, like if you're out walking for exercise or on a trail or something. I'm going to lower these so it fits. But the vibe is that you're down here pushing versus up here and having that stability. So for that, we want our poles to be about here, about in alignment with our hip bones. So as of right now, these are way too long. So we're going to open the prongs. I'm just going to kind of guess here. Let's lower it to there. Okay, so this is my hip bone is about right here. So my fist is around where my hip bone is. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that. And then let's see, let me lower to make the other one even. All right, we're going to hold on just the same. We're coming up from underneath and attach, underneath and attach. But now we're down here. And again, the idea is that we're holding them at a backwards angle. So our fists are still in front of us, but the actual poles themselves tend to be behind us. The walking pattern is the same. It's the opposite arm and leg. Opposite arm and leg. But you'll see they're angled backwards. It's more designed to help push you. Oh, I didn't tighten them enough. They just collapsed. Make sure you tighten them enough. There we go. The idea is that they're more designed to help push you and propel you forward. It's less about balance. The first version is more to help you with stability and balance when you're walking, whereas this one I find is more to help you just have a little bit of support so that you can continue to move at whatever speed you want. A little bit of a different goal. But again, try both and see what feels better for you. Sometimes people like this one because it looks more athletic and that makes them feel more athletic versus more like a person with MS. At the end of the day, again, it's all about safety. So use whichever sizing feels like it's most appropriate for you. Ideally, use them as little as possible and not any more than you need to, just for safety. And what else was I going to say? Oh, walking opposite leg at the time of the opposite hand. Now, another thing to consider, you don't always need to use 2 trekking poles, in which case you would use just the one exactly how we talked about the cane. So you'd use it on the opposite side of your weaker leg, and it would move forward at the same time as that weak leg, or forward, then your weak leg, then your stronger leg. When we're talking about canes or arm crutches or trekking poles, a lot of it has to do with the size of the bottom. And oftentimes the size tip of forearm crutches is the same as a cane. The two main differences between a cane and a forearm crutch is the hand placement and the fact that with forearm crutches, you can let go and it won't fall because it's got a cuff around you. So for forearm crutches, it's like a cuff like this, and your hand angle is pretty similar to this, but you've got an extension and it holds on here so that if you let go, it doesn't fall away from you. It's still attached to you. In terms of, is that safe to transition from one to the other? It should be, as long as it's a similar base. If it's not, if one is way smaller, that's not going to provide you with as much support. So that's something to keep in mind. I hope you found this helpful. I want you to think of everything that we just discussed as guidance. And remember that a lot of this is trial and error. Try something that we discussed today and see how it feels for you. If it doesn't feel great, try a different way. But regardless, whatever way does feel like the version that you want to get good at and you want to improve, remember to practice that as an exercise. Practice using your mobility aid in that way as an exercise, not just when you have to go out and about, but actually as an exercise. That is what will help you get more confident in using it that way and feel more stable and balanced faster.